My name is Kimberly Turner. Hello.
Hello.
I'm coming on behalf of my family for Robin Howard. We're seeking some help. We were wanting all the information regarding my brother. He died in police custody, and they've not communicated with us, to us. The officers that were involved are still working, and it has been ruled a homicide. They let us know, basically from the same week that we found out that he had passed, they got on the news and let it be known that they're still at work. So they were never taken off work. We don't understand why. We want to know why. You know, we want some answers, and they've kind of blown us off. And the way we were notified, they didn't contact my mother until 4 days after my brother passed. So he never went to jail. He went to the hospital. And before he went to the hospital, they called IMSA. They canceled IMSA, and the police transported him to the hospital. I mean, there's a lot of questions that we have that don't make sense to us, and and we're still grieving as a result of that. But when they contacted us 4 days after his death and kind of acted like it was no big deal, oh, we're investigating it, we'll get back with you. We're still waiting for somebody to get back with us.
How long has it been?
He died, they informed us June the 28th. So nobody has gotten back with us.
Jim, how long does it typically take for a report to be wrapped up and be made public?
I can't answer that, but Chief City's here to answer.
Okay.
They can answer that. First of all, we're sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
He passed away at the hospital on the 24th. It was 4 days, they are correct, it was 4 days before the family was actually notified. The police department really did drop the ball because we had an officer that was given the responsibility of making notification. He did make a report that he said he was unable to make that notification or find the next of kin, and then didn't notify any supervisors that we followed up on it. And so when homicide finally got it, when homicide got the case, because originally IA was investigating the case.
IA's Internal Affairs.
Internal Affairs was investigating the case because of the number of injuries and that he was put in the hospital. Well, when he died, then it's transferred to homicide because it now becomes a criminal investigation, basically possibly a homicide based on the fact that his death was as a result of the arrest and the use of force that was used against him. So when homicide received the information, they realized that the notification had not been made, and that was about 4 days afterwards. And seriously, and we did drop the ball on that and take responsibility for that. Homicide did make the notification. There's been several communications with the family based on what is occurring in the investigation, that it has to be complete. We took the investigation to the district attorney's office because we completed the investigation about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But the district attorney did not want to review the investigation until that they could determine or they could see the medical examiner's report, and we didn't get that till yesterday. So there were some things that could have been done better. It was a little bit of a strange situation in the fact that in most cases at a use of force, the subject actually went to the hospital, was interviewed, was doing pretty well, and actually died of pneumonia on the 24th. He was taken to the hospital on the 19th. So there's legitimate complaint there based on the fact that we did not make notification in a timely enough manner than we should have.
Bill, can you clarify how, the procedure for when an incident like this happens and how you handle the police officers involved in the incident?
Well, the officers themselves, when Mr. Howard expired, the officers were placed on restricted duty. When we conduct a criminal investigation, the officers are replaced on administrative leave and then restricted duty pending the outcome of the investigation. So the officers have actually been off the street and not working in their normal capacity, in an enforcement capacity from the time that Mr. Howard expired.
And that's standard procedure?
That's standard procedure. It is under investigation. We do have the ME's report now. The process now goes, all of our reports, all of the information from the witnesses, officers, the statements from Mr. Howard himself will go to the district attorney's office, and he will review it to make a determination whether or not any criminal charges are warranted in this case.
What can the family do to get a copy of any of these documents?
We will not release copies of the investigative reports at this point in the investigation. Their attorney, they have retained an attorney, and that attorney is aware that at some point, if there's criminal charges filed or if there's some civil litigation, that he will get a copy of all of those reports, but it'll be through the courts. We do not consider those reports and those as open record. They are entitled to a copy of the crime incident report, but they do not get a copy. We do not release a copy of any other supplemental or follow-up investigative reports, whether it's administrative or investigative. They are not considered open record. And we responded to their attorney through Rick Smith. Rick Smith has been assisting us. When we received a letter last week from the attorney, we responded back and mailed that letter out to them last Wednesday.
All right, thanks.
Far as I know, we didn't receive that, but we still weren't informed, like who was on administrative leave. The 2 officers are all 4 of them, because they said it was 2 that was involved and 2 that witnessed it.
Right, 2 officers that were involved in the use of force are the ones that were placed on restricted duty. Not all 4.
And so that's not public record?
No, that is public.
Okay, but that's what I'm asking, because we didn't know that. We're knowing that now, and somebody mentioned it yesterday, but, when we were contacted, it was June the 28th. It's just that we felt like it was totally disrespectful, and it wasn't handled in a manner that it should have been, and then he died in police custody, and nobody ever contacted us. And there was information, because we have the medical report, and my mother's number and name was on there. So she was never contacted while he was in the hospital. So is that because of you all, or because y'all had a guard on the door? Because we still should have been contacted of his declining medical situation.
Family members were aware that he was in the hospital. They came, when he was arrested, the car was impounded. Family members came to the police department to recover his vehicle. They were advised that he was in the hospital.
No, we were not. I'm the one who went down there. Okay. I took my mother down there and filled out the paperwork to get her car released, and we had to pay $140. I talked to a Detective Bowen, and I told him, I've been calling the jail for 2 days. They keep saying that my brother's not here, Robin Leander Howard. He said, oh, they have a warrant for him in another county. So I was misled by somebody at the city police station. I'm the one who went down there. At no point were we notified that he was in the hospital. We didn't even know he was in there until Detective Benavides contacted us June the 28th and said that he died. And when he called my older sister, she kept saying, no, he's in jail. She didn't know who he was talking about. She's screaming and hollering on the phone. So no, I went down there. I'm the one who went. So they never informed me. They kept making me believe that another county picked him up.
Well, I agree with her that we didn't notify them to the 28th. The information I have is that they were notified the next day when they picked the car up, but I'll have to follow up on that to make sure. I'm not going to say that she's not being truthful here. I'm just saying that I'll have to follow up on that. All of that will be looked at administratively, including what she talked about as far as the ambulance being canceled. He was transported by police car to the hospital. So all those things, if there's any protocol or any policies or procedures that weren't followed, those will be looked at and reviewed administratively to determine whether or not proper procedures were followed. So at this point, those things like not being notified that he was in the hospital and those types of things will be looked at more closely.
Okay.
But they are being investigated.
Okay. And typically, how long does the district attorney take to
It varies. You know, like I say, we've had the investigation completed, our side of the investigation, for at least 3 weeks. We will get it to him. If they didn't get it to him yesterday, it'll probably be today because we now have the medical examiner's report. We have no control over that, and it varies. It could be a week, it could be 3 or 4 weeks. It just depends.
Okay.
So, and I have one final question. So, Are you saying that we as the family don't have we can't have copies of, you know, what happened to him?
Well, at some point.
We have to sue you
they've
or go to
They've
court?
retained an attorney. At some point, that attorney can get access to those through the court system, through subpoenas, or if criminal charges are filed, then the DA will have that responsibility of releasing that information to their attorney to be able to, you know what the circumstances were, but we don't. And we will sit down at some point and be willing to sit down and discuss some of the findings and things that we have with the families. We always have, but at this point during the investigation, that district attorney has the right to see that information, review that information, and make his decisions prior to any release of any type of information. But the reports will not be released. Those reports that aren't considered open record will not be released without a subpoena and direction from the courts.
Okay, I have another question. Is it a part of your investigation? Because where the incident happened, it was less than a mile from the Oklahoma City Hospital, OMH Presbyterian. We want to know, why was he transported way to Southwest Medical on Southwest 44th? I mean, the hospital was less than a mile away. That he
Kim,
couldn't
I don't think
transport.
those are the types of questions he's going to be able to answer without having been there in that situation. And I know you want answers today, and I don't think you're going to get any more answers today, but it sounds like you've hired an attorney, and the attorney will be working with our police officers, and certainly the district attorney over across the street at the county will be working this case too. I understand your frustration, and we're all very sorry it happened.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, we are.
Thank you for coming down. We appreciate the show of support for him.